Hey everybody, this is Cody Knight 22 here, and I'm just inserting this to the beginning of the video before I cut into fanfiction because I understand this is my most popular series, and I understand why, but I kind of want to give some love to the other stuff that I do apart from fanfiction, and that is I play games on my YouTube channel. Outlast, I guess, is really the only other ongoing series that I have right now. If you want to call it a series, there's quite a gap between episode 1 and 2. But I also have stuff going on for XP Hoarders, which is a group that I play with, Team Black Screen, myself and Chris are a part of Team Black Screen, and we are killing it right now in games. Madden, Portal, Spartacus, you name it, we're slaying it. So everybody should go and check out those two things. Just check out the rest of my channel, view the other videos, if and because I'm more than serious. I can also be funny 1 out of every 10 billion times. So watch it for those 1. See ya.
Hey everybody, this is Cody Knight 22 here, and I'm coming at you today with episode 5 of Cody Talks Fanfiction. Things are going to be a little bit different this episode, just like they were last episode when I did the author spotlight for Mr. Yarn. By the way, you are right not. You are a hard person to compliment. Like hard as fuck, harder than me. Get easier, because I love your work. And second thing is that this episode is different primarily because I'm trying to get a little bit ahead in Cody Talks Fanfiction. Because I might be leaving for Boston for a period of time, for a decent period of time, so I want to get a little bit ahead of things before I do go to Boston, just in case, or sorry, so this way I will be able to record, or this way I will be able to release Cody Talks Fanfiction on time. That's the way I was looking to phrase things. I am in a different place than the start of last Cody Talks Fanfiction because I am re-recording this episode due to some errors and exclusions, yada yada yada. You don't care. All right. So first thing is first. How is this episode going to be different? Well, I've been doing a lot of talk about an individual story, my likes and dislikes about that individual stories, what I think could be improved. But I realized, you know what? I only ever do this for one story. Let's crank the story numbers that I do this up to all of them. That's right. This is going to be Pet Peeves episode, and this is going to be a little bit different, or not necessarily pet peeves. This is going to be the trend episode, the trend setting episode. So what trends do I notice in stories that I read, and what trends do I think could be getting rid of, and what trends do I say keep? And whether or not they make sense. Fair warning ahead of time. Just because they don't make any sense does not mean that I will vote to get rid of them. So let's get this thing going with the first trend that I have noticed, and this is one, I'll say this in advance, that doesn't make any sense. RWBY can draw. RWBY, in so many stories, for whatever reason, she can draw, and it's fine and all, but the issue with that one being, and I'll give some, I'm not going to give some examples, just in a lot of stories, RWBY has the ability to draw. She can sketch. So how exactly does this work, honestly? Because RWBY, in and of herself, in the show, she is seen sketching out Professor Poorly, like in the thing, what was it, Professor Poop, I think. Yeah, Professor Poop. And so it's very bad, and it's intentionally bad, but it's very bad, and like, so why in our minds, how is the connection made that this is like a thing, like this needs to be a thing? It makes zero sense whatsoever. But I say keep it, because I think this is I just think that it's a funny trend. I think that it works well overall. And I think that it makes a lot of stories very, very enjoyable. I don't think that it's a bad thing. I just think that it's odd. It's kind of an odd thing. But no, I say keep it. I say I like it personally. So why not? Why not? Really is the question that I am asking you. Why not do this? So next trend that Look, all my stuff is done smelting that I totally forgot that I was smelting. Anyways, the next trend that I'm going to be talking about is going to be Blake and Weiss know each other. And a lot of stories, mostly AUs, I should clarify this, mostly AU stories. Blake and Weiss, they know each other. They're good friends. Uh, I this one I can't really make heads or tails of either. I can make heads and tails of if you want me to, but I can't make heads or tails about it. Because my apologies for that cut as well. Some things happen. Anyways, so let's forget the whole Faunus debacle for a moment, and just look at how Blake and Weiss's relationship started out in the show in general. That was not smooth. It was a very, very rocky start overall. I mean, forgetting the whole part where Blake's a Faunus and Weiss was very bigoted towards Faunus. Um, so let's forget that part and just focus on the fact that in general, Blake and Weiss didn't like each other. In the actual show, they didn't really like each other. So the fact that they are a common connecting point is kind of funny. It's kind of funny. It's really strange. It doesn't make any sense. Once again, though, I like it. I say keep it. Because I like the fact that you're giving these characters a common connecting point, and I think that it makes more sense than anything else that you really can go about connecting. And so I say keep it. Really kind of like process of okay, nothing else. Everything is not good, so let's take the best of the not good options. So I say keep it. I do like this trend. I think that there are stories in which it is done well. Icy Rose is one of the ones where I can think of that Blake and Weiss are connecting points. I said I wouldn't give examples. There you go. There's an example. The next trend that I'm going to be talking about is it's going to be Weiss's family. Weiss, her family, and like 90% of the stories, they're not nice people. They're generally very cold, very angry, very bitter people that aren't really likable at all, and they kind of become antagonistic in AU stories where you don't really have an antagonist, but they just kind of fill in that role. I say, once again, I will say keep this trend because Weiss's family, because it makes total sense for Weiss to have a bad family, to have a very unwelcoming family. And so I think it makes more sense than having her have a family that is welcoming. So I say keep it. I say that this is a very, very good trend. Um, the next trend that I'm going to be discussing is going to be Blake has kitty habits. The whole ordeal where it is where Blake's a faunus and a lot of people will give her like these little kitty habit or cat habits and whatnot, and she'll do things that a cat would do, and she'll act like a cat and whatnot, and so on and so. Ah, God damn it, and so on and so forth. I say keep this trend, but lay off a little bit because Blake is a cat faunus. Okay, that's all good and fine, but good grief, we don't need to play this up any more than it already is being played up. And I honestly think that the people around her would be more inclined to give her crap about being a cat. Like, you not, give her crap in a loving way about being a cat faunus, like, leave little mouse toys and whatnot everywhere. But definitely not that Blake would be, that Blake would go out and have, her and like be like a cat. Honestly, I think that it would be. I think it's ridiculous how much people are reading into this whole faunus thing. Because we don't really know a whole lot about it, but I think that it's being overdone, pretty greatly overdone. So I say keep it, but lay off a little bit and kind of allow yourself a little bit more room here. The next trend that I'm going to be talking about is going to actually be framed ideally perfectly by this. So let me just stay. Oh, God damn it! All right, hang on. I'm very anal about things. My apologies. For once, the gameplay is actually going to be relevant to what I'm to what I'm talking about. Really excited for that. This one is going to be Rooster Teeth and Achievement Hunter references. So I think that we need to cool off on that one a little bit. There are just some stories where it is pretty blatantly stated. This is it. I saw that somebody referenced Let's Play WWE 2K14 funny video in one of the stories that they did. And I get it. They do it in the show. I should start with this. They do this in the show. They do bring up all of the art. They do bring up RTAH references, and it is done. But here's the thing: in the show, they're fairly subtle about it. Like obviously there's things that are noticeable, but they're fairly subtle about it. Not so much with us. And by us, I mean fanfiction. I mean the fanfiction community. We are pretty bad about it. I like the subtle references. Like I try to work in a subtle reference every now and then, but honestly, at a certain point, the blatantly stated things get a bit much, and they aren't clever. I mean, it's kind of like, no, no. So I say, don't kill it. I say lay off. So this is two. So I guess I really do have three options here. Next one that I'm going to be discussing is pretty designated around one character. Let's stop the bullying. All right, Yang in stories winds up as a bully a lot. Oh, God damn, I need to kill cows. Winds up as a bully a lot. Whenever there's whenever there's a fluff story, she always tends to be just kind of like the instigator. She tends to start shit a lot, and I don't like this. I do not like this thing. I do not like the fact that she's going out of her way to kind of target her friends for certain things like Jean Arc's Pain, Pyrrhic Victory. Yang is kind of the instigator for a lot of things where she starts issues and whatnot. And I get it. Yang's personality, from what we have seen, comes off as very party girl esque and very much so in the way where she, is kind of wild and crazy. So that would make her a perfect person to be kind of like a friendly bully, I guess is kind of the way to phrase it. Friendly bully towards her friends. Right? Wrong. Yang has a very words have failed me. Motherly personality. She's basically, I view her as the show goes on as playing out the role as kind of Team RWBY, as kind of the team mother, the honorary team mother, where she kind of looks after everybody as much as she can. She seems to be a very stoic person, and she won't like want to cry or anything in front of her team. Like won't want to show any weakness. She'll want to be the one. She'll want to be the shoulder to cry on because that is her type of personality. So making her this kind of bully that she was, especially in Pyrrhic Victory. In Pyrrhic Victory, it was bad. But to make her this kind of bully, is like that's not really fair. I don't think that it's a fair assessment of Yang, and I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Because you make Hart, if you want to bully so bad, make Harden the fucking bully. I mean, that's what he's there for, right? Well, he could be there for more, for all we know, but I mean, that's what he's there for us as of right now. But I definitely am not a big fan of this particular the way that this particular thing has kind of gone about. I say stop the bullying, stop the bullying, and give Yang a little bit of dues. Next thing is Jean's an awkward idiot. Now in the show, we all know Jean to be the lovable, in his words, the lovable idiot, the damsel in distress stuck in a tree, and so we all know that that's the way that he was portrayed initially when he was really kind of just comic relief. But as time went on, we kind of came to learn that there was this other side of Jean. A side where he stands up for his friends, and a side where he fights for what's right and where he can learn and he can improve. Now, why is this whole awkward idiot thing still being played up so much in some stories? Why? I don't understand this. It doesn't make sense. I don't like it because Jean is not the idiot all the time. You are right, not and Jean Arc's Pain does a very good job of balancing out these two things where Jean is he doesn't really understand other people that well, which does make sense with his type of personality. He doesn't really understand other people all that great. But he does kind of know. God damn it, I can't do this. But he does know what to do in combat situations. He does understand that he needs to get better, and he wants to get better, so that way he won't be the weak link, or the weakest link. So he definitely, I say, lay off of this one as well. I say kill. I don't say kill this trend. I say balance this trend because it's really, really far in one direction right now. They make great music. The next thing that I'm going to be talking about or the next trend that I'm going to bring up is going to be, how do I phrase this? Next trend that I'm going to be bringing up is, I really don't know how to phrase. Oh, you know what? Here's a good way of phrasing it. Ren is the mediator. Lai Ren, the quiet, silent guy that we know literally nothing about. We know that his name is Lai Ren. We know he uses storm flowers as his primary weapon, and that's really it. That's pretty much all we know about Lai Ren. Very quiet, very mysterious. Deals with Nora all day long. So he becomes, in a lot of stories, the mediator. He becomes the guy that's like, "Hey, you need me to talk to somebody? Want me to talk to somebody? I got you. I'll talk to somebody." No, why? Why? Kill this trend. Kill it. Get it. Get it. Kill it with fire. Because Lai Ren, as I stated, very quiet. He deals with Nora all day long. He doesn't talk much. He would always see what it seems to me like somebody like that would want to know what's wrong with their friends and want to help them. But I don't think that he'd willingly come to them and be like, "Hey, yo, you need me to talk to somebody? Hit me up. I'll talk to somebody." That doesn't make sense. I don't know what that was, but that doesn't make any sense to me. So, because he's so quiet all the time, like, why would he want to be the one that people turn to? Why would he want to be this kind of a guy? Kill it. Kill this trend as well. The next trend, and what is going to be my final trend for today, that I'm going to talk about, is going to be dust is power. Now, I understand dust actually is power in the show, so maybe I should have phrased that a different way. But what I mean is that dust is like, people will say thank dust, like thank God. Like, instead of thank God, thank dust. Thank dust. Thank dust for this. Thank dust for that. Dust, you're beautiful. Stuff like that. I think that was in. Anyways, I was gonna get really sidetracked there. Saved it. So this whole like dust thing is not just overdone. It shouldn't be done in the first place. Here's why. We know that dust is energy of some kind. It's like elemental energy is pretty much from what we can understand, and that we use it as tools. Now, and that we use it as kind of like a tool. Now, let me pose this question to you. Dust is kind of like, for us, what electricity is in some ways, what fire is, what water is, like things like that. Coincidentally, it takes all these forms. But with this whole like dust thing, do we ever name the last time that you said you did something, or you did something and it was bad, but it wound up turning up well, like you knocked something over, but you managed to catch it, and you said, "Thank electricity, thank fire." Like, oh man, woof, man, thank fire. The answer is probably never. If you have, get yourself checked into a mental hospital. But if you haven't, then you would understand where I'm coming from on this one. Dust is basically those things to us. So saying thank dust is like saying thank energy. It's saying thank energy. Not like thank God or anything like that, but thank energy. Dust is not a religious item. It's not. It's their power. They use it on a regular basis. It's not religious. It doesn't. This is like my least favorite trend ever because it makes no sense to me. It makes no sense. So I say ending this thing with the biggest kill that I can possibly kill order that I can possibly request, and that is with Thank Dust, because good grief, people, this doesn't, unless this show comes out and gives a reason for me to believe otherwise, I'm not going to believe that this should be done, because you know, thank dust is basically saying thank energy or thank power. No, I mean no. I mean you can kill something with dust and say thank dust. That makes total sense to me. Otherwise, really not. So, at that, I'm going to call this episode of Cody Talks Fanfiction. I hope to see all of you next week when I will be talking about a new theme. And next week, I'm going to be returning to talking about stories and not themes overall. And so, bye!